Bon matin. Every morning I've woken up as Prime Minister. I've been inspired by the resilience, the generosity, and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin, je me suis réveillé.
Each and every morning, I woke up as Prime Minister, inspired by the resilience, generosity, and determination that characterizes us so well as Canadians. This is what motivates me each and every day that I've had the privilege of serving as Prime Minister. This is why, since 2015, I have fought for this country and for you, to strengthen the middle class. We have mobilized as Canadians to support each other during the pandemic in order to advance reconciliation, in order to defend free trade on our continent, for our support of Ukraine and democracy, and to fight against climate change and to prepare the economy for the future. We are going through a critical time.
My friends, as you all know, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians, I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. Mes chers amis, comme vous savez,
Dear
je suis un
friends,
fighter.
as you know, I
Dans
am
mon
a
fort
fighter.
intérieur, je me suis toujours battu parce que je me soucie
Deep inside, I've always fought because I care deeply about Canadians.
toujours motivé.
And I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. The fact is that despite all efforts to get through this time, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in our country's history. And that is why this morning I met with the Governor-General to tell her that we needed a new session of Parliament. She accepted my request, and so the House of Commons will be prorogued until March 24th. During the holidays, and I had the opportunity to reflect and to have long talks with my family with regards to our future. Throughout my career, All my success is due to their support and to their encouragements. So, last night, over dinner, I told my kids, our country deserves a real choice during the next election, and it's become obvious for me that if I have to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best choice. The Liberal Party of Canada is an important institution in the history of our great country and our democracy. A new Prime Minister and leader of the party will carry forth the ideas and the values of the Liberal Party during the next election. I'm looking forward to watching this process unfold over the following months. We were elected in 2021 for a third mandate to reinforce the economy after the pandemic and to advance the interests of Canada in a complex world. And that is exactly what I will continue to do and what we will continue to do for Canadians.
The Liberal Party of Canada is an important institution in the history of our great country and democracy. A new Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party will carry its values and ideals into that next election. I'm excited to see the process unfold in the months ahead. We were elected for the third time in 2021 to strengthen the economy post-pandemic and advance Canada's interests in a complicated world. And that is exactly the job that I and we will continue to do for Canadians. Merci beaucoup, mes amis.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now go to questions, starting with Laurence Martin, Radio-Canada.
Bonjour, Monsieur Trudeau.
Hello, Mr. Trudeau.
Vous vouliez le faire, ce combat contre Pierre
You wanted
Poilievre.
to
Des
have
batailles internes, il y en a dans votre
an election
parti depuis
with
plusieurs mois
Pierre
déjà.
Poilievre as your opponent. There have been internal battles for a while. Why are you giving up now? What made you change your mind? As you know, I don't easily back down faced with a fight, especially a very important one for our party and for the country. But I do this job because the interests of Canadians and the well-being of our democracy is something that I hold dear. And it's become clear to me that I cannot be the leader during the next elections due to internal battles.
As you all know, I am a fighter, and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this one is. But I have always been driven by my love for Canada, by my desire to serve Canadians, and by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And Canadians deserve a real choice in the next election. And it has become obvious to me with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election.
Vous êtes au pouvoir depuis près de 10 ans.
You've been in power
Le
for nearly
Canada a
10
changé
years.
avec votre
Canada
gouvernement.
has changed with your
S'il y a
government.
une réalisation
If there's
dont vous êtes le plus fier,
one accomplishment that you're the most proud of, I know there are several, but perhaps the thing you are most proud of, and maybe one regret? Answer. In 2015, we were elected on a promise to work for the middle class in this country. And that is what we did. We reduced the level of poverty. We helped families. We created an economy that works for many more people while preparing for the future, a more digital future, and to prepare for a world where climate change will have a greater impact. We've done a lot of work with Canadians, and Canada is better off due to the work that we've all done over the past few years. A regret? I continue to think that if our electoral system had been changed so that people would be able to have a first, second, and third choice on the ballot. Parties would have spent more time looking at their points in common to be the second or third choice of voters rather than to see this polarization. But I could not unilaterally change our ballot system.
We got elected in 2015 to fight for the middle class, and that's exactly what we've done over the past years. We reduced their taxes, we increased the benefits to families, we made sure the economy was focused on working for everyone and not just a few, and that has changed. That has dropped poverty rates in Canada, that has brought more people into the workforce, that has moved us forward on reconciliation in a way that has deeply improved the opportunities and success of Canadians despite the incredibly difficult times the world is going through right now. There's lots more work to be done, and I know that this party and this country and Canadians will keep doing it. If I have one regret, particularly as we approach this election, well, there are probably many regrets that I will think of, but I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot, so that parties would spend more time trying to be people's second or third choices, and people would have been looking for things they have in common instead of trying to polarize and divide Canadians against each other. I think in this time, figuring out how to pull together and find common ground remains something that is really important for democracies. But I could not change unilaterally without support of other parties our electoral system. That wouldn't have been responsible.
டிவிஐ யூடியூப் சேனலில் இணைந்திருக்கும் நேர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் எமது நன்றி. எமது காணொளி தொகுப்புகளை தொடர்ந்து நீங்கள் பார்வையிடுவதற்கு கீழிருக்கின்ற பெல் பட்டனை அழுத்துவதனூடாக நோட்டிஃபிகேஷனில் பல காணொளி தொகுப்புகள் உடனுக்குடன் உங்களை வந்து சேரும். அருகில் இருக்கின்ற முக்கிய காணொளி தொகுப்புகளையும் பார்வையிட தவறாதீர்கள்.